eBay's managed payments has yet another glitch. For many of you, you should have received an email on Wednesday stating that there was a problem with your payout. So we're going to get into it. So without any further ado, let's go. Welcome back to the Flippin' Ain't Easy channel. This is John, and today I wanted to make this video in regards to the email that most sellers would have received Wednesday morning, sometime early Wednesday morning. I received it about 5:30 a.m. Pacific time, and I'm not sure if everyone received this email. I get daily payments from Managed Payments, so this may not affect anyone who has received weekly payments or has it set up for weekly payments, but yet again, it's quite possible that you have received this message. And before I begin, I just want to state that Joe from the Crazy New York Driver Show, he did a video on this. It was a brief video, basically stating that to be patient, that this is going to be resolved. It's a glitch, that type of thing. But I decided to dig a little bit further. And I started out with reading the message I received this morning that most of you should have received. And it states, your payout didn't go through. That's the header of the email. And this email states, hi John, on December 2nd, 2020, we tried sending you a payment amount of, but we ran into a problem with your bank account. Please check to see if the bank account information you entered is correct or contact your bank for details. Now, I've had Managed Payments since last September. I've had the same bank account. It's through Chase. And I've had not one issue with receiving payments with Managed Payments up to this point. Now, I received this message. I was out and about today, and I received this message about 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. And I also took a moment to watch Joe's video. And about an hour later, I received another email from eBay, and I don't know if all of you received it or if it's just the ones that they deemed were not affected. And the email reads, Dear seller, there was an issue that affected payouts for a number of Managed Payment sellers on December 2nd, 2020. This issue has been resolved and all affected payouts were resent on December 2nd. We do not expect sellers to encounter any delays receiving their funds. Depending on your bank, your payouts should be reflected in your bank account in the next 1 to 4 business days. We apologize for any inconvenience. You may have received a communication mentioning a problem with your bank account. You may disregard this prior communication. There is no further action required of you at this time. And as always, thanks for selling on eBay. Okay, and that's from the eBay team. So at least for me, they didn't need any clarification or anything. Now, if you have not received this email that I just read or something similar to that, that was sent to you on Wednesday, the 2nd of December, sometime in the afternoon or evening, you may want to call eBay's Managed Payments Department or request a callback and find out what's going on. Because, eBay, they have their glitches, as many of you know with some of the videos that I've made over the last 6 to 8 months. We've talked about glitches, and it's all fine and dandy when you're talking about your website and maybe your site's down or maybe a feature is not available for us sellers and we have to be patient until they fix it. But you're talking about our money. You're dealing with our money. And so it just concerns me, this being a relatively new system, the confidence in Managed Payments is already pretty low based on the comments that I've received on some of the previous videos, and this isn't going to do a whole lot to build that confidence in the Managed Payment system. Like I said, I've used Managed Payments since September of last year, and I hadn't had any issues up until now. I have Chase. And I can tell you, I went over my previous records and went into my account, my Chase account, to see how long it actually takes for an eBay deposit to arrive into my Chase account, and it takes only 1 business day on average. So that's pretty fast. eBay states 2 to 4, it just depends on your bank, but anybody out there who has Chase should encounter about a 1 to 2 business day turnaround. So I guess sometime today you could receive that deposit, or because it seems like they deposited the money later in the day, that you may not get this until maybe add another business day to what you normally receive the payments. So I'll be interested to see how this actually turns out. In addition to all this, I decided I was going to request the callback from eBay. And it's funny because I went onto their website, I selected what I normally select to get managed payments. It's under ebay.com/seller help, but it's usually I select get help with a payment that you've received, or something about a hold on a payment. There's 2 options that'll get you over to managed payments. And both of those options stated that they were not available for a callback, even though they were scheduled to be there for another 2 to 3 hours. It was like 2.5 hours when I tried to get the callback. And I think that's 10 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. So I went to one of the other options, which had nothing to do with my managed payments. I think it was help a buyer with a return. And it stated there was a 10-minute callback. It was actually more like 45 minutes. I received a callback from an agent overseas, not in managed payments. Didn't really seem to know what I was talking about initially. He placed me on hold, came back and apologized and stated that I would need to reach out to the managed payments team. However, they were now unavailable for the rest of the evening, and he seemed to be confused about their operating hours, but I had to remind him they were still scheduled to be open, and he made it seem like they were unavailable. I don't know if they had people call off. I don't know, if they just didn't want to be bothered. They, that email I read you, maybe they felt like that was suffice, but anybody else who may have had an issue with something unrelated to that with managed payments, they certainly weren't getting assistance. So I just don't know what that reasoning is, why they weren't available to answer the phones. So that's my update with that. It may just be an innocent a glitch. It may be something that resolves itself. We may never see this pop up again. It is a relatively new system, like I said, and there are going to be hiccups along the way. But again, they're dealing with our money, and that concerns me more than just any other eBay glitch that we encounter. I went in and checked some of my reports, and this may or may not be related, and I encourage you to do the same. I decided to kind of just look at some of my numbers like I normally do, and I noticed that I sold about 6 or 7 items throughout the day, one being a pretty good sale. I sold an iPad for about $750 or whatever it was. And my reporting for my sales only showed that I made $200 and some odd in sales. Now the iPad wasn't paid for. I sent an offer to a couple of watchers, and one of them took it. So it's been my experience that whenever you make a sale, whether the item's paid for or not, that item does show up in your report for that particular day, and it didn't show up. So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe they've changed it to where it requires a payment, but I remember it being where whether you make a sale, it's paid for or not, it's counted in that day's sales. And so I don't know if they have an accounting issue going on right now. Remember, I did make a video a couple months ago where they did have an accounting issue. A couple of the dates, they actually had to go in and manually input the sales. And I went through on an Excel spreadsheet and just verified everything. I checked to see if there's, a discrepancy there. We were able to clear up anything I thought was a problem. But yet, if we're having those kind of problems where 2 months ago they're doing an input manually of your sales, now they're having a problem with sending your deposit, and at least for me, I'm not getting accurate sales numbers, and you'd think it all ties together. It just makes me wonder if something more serious is involved. And of course, they're going to send us an email saying there's nothing to see here, when there may be something to see here. And I'm not saying there is, but I'm highly suspicious whenever we receive this kind of information. And remember, we didn't receive an email about those two dates back in, I believe, September, where they actually had to go in and do the manual calculations. Or was it October? One of those two. But there's 2 dates where they had to do it manually, and I don't remember receiving an email on that. So I guess this one here, if you are affected where you're not going to receive your payment for the second, you definitely want to reach out to eBay's Managed Payments department. Simply go to ebay.com/sellerhelp, navigate through about 3 or 4 screens, find something that says get help with an item you sold, and request a call back, and hopefully there's going to be someone there today or tomorrow that can answer your question. And in fact, to save yourself the hassle, give it the amount of time that you would normally give this deposit, whether you normally see it the next business day like I do, or if it's 2 or 3 business days. Allow it to run its course. It's quite possible that you could still receive the deposit on time, but if it's not there, definitely reach out to Managed Payments and see if they can help you. So let me know what you think down below. If you have received both emails, and if you only received the one email saying there was a problem but no follow-up email, I'd like to know that as well. And any experiences you've had with Managed Payments, please leave that down below, along with any questions you might have. I'll be glad to answer when I find the opportunity to do so. And while you're at it, please hit that like button. Please consider subscribing to this channel and hitting the notification bell icon so you can be notified whenever I come up with an update like this. And if I have an update on this, if I'm able to get more information from eBay, I definitely will post a comment, a pinned comment in this video. And so hopefully this is just the glitch, as they're saying. Hopefully it's not something larger than it is. But I just wanted everyone out there who may not have seen their messages, who may not be aware, to be aware and to keep an eye out. So guys, get out there. This is the time of year. We got to keep plugging away, keep listing, keep making those sales, and just know one thing: flipping ain't easy. And we'll talk to you later, guys.